Good morning and Jai Hind children. I welcome you all in today's live class of chemistry. As we are discussing the chapter structure of matter and we have explained all the topics of the chapter. So I hope that you understood. If you have any doubt, so you can ask in school group. Now, today I am going to discuss the oral questions too, which are given on page number 33 of your book. And the question number one is, what is the difference between the symbol and the formula of oxygen? So children, please go through the concept of formula and symbol. The symbol is the term used to indicate the one atom of a element, and the formula is used to indicate the one molecule of a compound. Okay, so the symbol of oxygen will be simply O. And the formula of oxygen means that the one molecule of oxygen, because oxygen is an element who does not exist independently. It get combined together and forms a compound. So the one molecule of oxygen is formed by two atoms. So that is why the formula will be O2. Okay. Now, the question number two is, what specific name is given to the number of hydrogen atoms that can combine with or be displaced by one atom of an element? Is this a modern definition? So children, first of all know that this is the definition which is given here is the definition of valency. But it is not the modern definition, it is the old definition. And the modern definition of valency is the combining capacity of the element. Okay, so the second will be valency. Now the question number 3, an element X forms a compound XH3. There is an element X and it's going to form a compound XH3 with hydrogen. Another element Y forms a compound YX2. And the second element is there Y, and this is going to form the compound YX2. So you have to find out the valency of X and Y. And the valency of hydrogen is already given in the question, that is 1. Okay, so the valency of X will be how much? Children, see that the formula given here. As you know that the valencies get exchanged by writing the formula. So the 3, this is the valency of X, and 1, this is the valency of H. So the valency of X will be, and the valency of Y, as we know that the valency of X is 3, but here it's written 1. Okay, it means that here it gets simplified by taking a common factor, that is why it's written 1, and the valency of Y is written 2. It means that this is the valency just double to the valency of X, and the valency of X is 3, so the valency of Y will be 6. Okay, children, I hope that you understood how to find out the valency of X and Y. Now, the question number 4, is the equation balanced? Why? An equation is given in question number 4, and the equation is sodium is going to react with water and forms sodium hydroxide and hydrogen. So it's asked that is this equation is balanced? If not, then why not balanced? So first of all, find out that it is balanced or not. The number of atoms of all element in both the side, left hand side and right hand side. So come to the first left hand side, sodium atom 1, hydrogen atoms 2, and oxygen atom 1. In right hand side, the sodium atom 1, hydrogen atom 1 plus 2, 3, and the oxygen atom 1. So this equation is not balanced. And why it is not balanced? Because the number of hydrogen atoms are more in left side than the more in right side than the left side. Okay, children. This is the oral question which are given in your book. So please complete it in your chemistry notebook. Now come to the book exercise. And the first book exercise is choose the most appropriate answer. The four options are given for each question and you have to find out the correct answer. So the question number 1 is atoms of elements. And the option can exist independently. Second, cannot exist independently. Third, may or may not exist independently. And the fourth, can exist independently but don't like to. So children, please remember the definition of atom. They may or may not exist independently. So the C will be correct. Now the question number 2, a molecule of water, option A, cannot be broken down. Second option, can be broken down by hammering it. Third, can be broken down by boiling the water. And the fourth, can be broken down by passing an electric current through water. So by which method we can break the molecules of water? Simply by chemical method, and the chemical method is passing the electric current. So the correct answer will be D. Okay. Now come to the question number 3. There are about 118 different. What are 118 in numbers? First, elements. Second, molecules. Third, compounds. And the fourth, mixture. So children, we have studied that there are 118 elements. Now come to the question number 4. If you heat a liquid, it will ultimately change into. If the liquids are going to heat, so ultimately it's going to change in which form? A solid. Second option, gas. Third, either a solid or gas depending on temperature. And the fourth, neither solid nor gas. It will always remain a liquid. So what will be the answer, children? Yes, you guessed correct. It's a gas. When a liquid is going to heat, so ultimately it's going to change into a gas. So the second option will be correct. Now the question number 5 is when two elements are brought together, when the two elements are going to kept together, so what happened? The first option is always form a mixture. Second, always form a compound. Third, may form a mixture or a compound depending on the condition. And the fourth, may form a mixture or a compound depending on what they like. So children, if they are going to kept together, so it will depend on conditions that either they will remain the mixture or they will form the compound. Okay, so the thing will depend on the condition. So option C will be correct. Now the question number 6. Which of the following is not a mixture? The four options are given: air, seawater, pure water, and soil. So out of these four, which one is not a mixture? Children, remember that air is a mixture of gases. Okay, seawater is a mixture of water, minerals, salts, and all. Soil is also a mixture of different living and non-living components, whereas the pure water is not a mixture. The correct option will be C. Now the question number 7, the valency of which of these elements is 0? And the elements are given: the first iron, second helium, third hydrogen, and fourth oxygen. So who have the valency 0, children? So the valency 0 is of helium, because hydrogen have the valency 1, oxygen have the valency 2, and iron have the valency 2 and 3. Okay, so the helium have the valency 0. Now the question number 8. Which of these is the formula for calcium hydroxide? Calcium hydroxide, its formula will be CaOH whole twice. This indicates for the one molecule of calcium hydroxide is made up from the one atom of calcium and the two molecules of hydroxide group. Okay. Now the question number 9. The an equation is given here and you have to tell that it is correct, incorrect since it is not balanced, incorrect since sodium does not react with water, or the option 4 that incorrect since hydrogen should be written as H and not H2. So first I'm going to write first the equation, and the equation is, this is the equation children. Sodium is going to react with water and forms sodium hydroxide and hydrogen. So the options are given, it is correct, and second option is given, it is incorrect since it is not balanced. So find out that it is balanced or not. Sodium in left side 1 and right side 1. Hydrogen atoms in left side 2. Hydrogen atoms in right side 1 plus 2 3. So we can say that it is not balanced. That is why it is incorrect since it is not balanced. Okay children. So option B will be correct. Okay, so these are your questions in which you have to choose the correct option. I hope that you understood, and you have to do it only in your book, not in note. Now come to the second. Very short answer questions. Children, here you have to write the answer just in one word. So do it also in the book only, not in the notebook. And the question number 1 is, what is the smallest particle of an element that can take part in a chemical reaction? So the name of the smallest particle of element is atom. Now the question number 2, the smallest particle of a compound, that will be molecule. Yes, the smallest particle of an element is atom and the smallest particle of a compound is molecule. Now the question number 3, name an element which exists in the free state in nature. There are few elements who exist in free state. Okay, like hydrogen, like nitrogen, oxygen. So anyone you have to write. So you can write as oxygen. Now the question number 4, name an element whose atoms occurs in pair. As they are not existing independently, they are always combined with the other atoms and remain there in pair. Means two atoms get combined together. So you can write here as hydrogen. Oxygen will also be correct answer. Nitrogen you can write. So hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, they are the elements who exist in pair. Okay children? Now the question number 5 is, if the formula of an element is X3, its atomicity is. The formula is given as X3. This is the formula of a one molecule of an element. Okay, so the atomicity. Children, remember that the atomicity indicates the number of atoms present in one molecule of a element. Okay, so how many number of atoms are here? 3. So its atomicity will be 3. Okay, now question number 6. If two compounds that do not react chemically are mixed, what do we get? The two different compounds, if they are not going to mix together, so definitely they will remain the mixture, they will not form a new compound. Okay, a mixture. Question number 7. From which of these two can elements be more easily separated? A mixture or a compound? Out of these two, from a mixture or from a compound, we can easily separate the different elements. So, children, please remember that the components can easily separate it from a mixture, not from a compound, because the elements or the component can separate it from a compound by certain chemical method. So here your answer will be a mixture. Now the question number 8. Does a symbol represent an atom or a molecule? What are the symbols for each of the following? So first you have to write down that a symbol represents an atom or a molecule. Children, remember that symbol is the term used to indicate the atom, not the molecule. Okay, formula is the term used to indicate the molecule. So here you can write that atom. And in the same question, it's given that what are the symbols for each of the following? The four different elements are given, and you have to write down their symbol. And the first element is cobalt. So CO, capital C and small o will be the symbol of cobalt. Second one is given copper. Cu, capital C and small u. This will be the symbol of copper. Third one is given chlorine. Cl, capital C and small l. And the fourth one is carbon. So capital C will be the symbol of carbon. Okay, children? Now come to the question number 9. Write the formula for the four different compounds are given here, and you have to write the formula. And the first compound is sulfuric acid. H2SO4 is the formula of sulfuric acid. Children, remember that there is a table of name of compound with their formula. So there you have learned that H2SO4 is the formula of sulfuric acid. Now the second one is calcium hydroxide. CaOH whole twice. This will be the formula of calcium hydroxide. Third is sugar. C6H12O6. This is the formula of one molecule of sugar. It means that the one molecule contains 6 carbon atoms, 12 hydrogen atoms and 6 oxygen atoms of sugar. Or you can also say that glucose. So don't get confused that either the glucose or sugar. You will write the same formula, C6H12O6. Now the fourth one is common salt. The common eating salt, that is NaCl, sodium chloride. So sodium chloride is the chemical name of common salt and its formula is NaC. Okay, children? So all the formulas are given here of compounds. Now the question number 10. If a certain compound has a formula H2X, what is the valency of X? In the question number 10, and compound is given, that is H2X. H2X, the compound given, and you have to find out the valency of X. Valency of X. Children, remember that the same, the way to write the formula. How the formula is get written? The valencies get exchanged. Okay, so this 2 indicates that the valency of X, and the 1, this is the valency of H. Okay, because they get exchanged. That is why the 2 is sitting here at the bottom of H. So we can say that the valency of X is 2. Okay. Now the question number 11 is, in a compound of two elements, the elements are combined in a certain fixed ratio that always remains the same. True or false? You'll remember the definition of compound. Compound is a kind of mixture in which the different elements are present in a fixed ratio. Okay, so this statement will be true. Now the question number 12, an equation is given here and you have to find out that it is balanced or not. So first I'm going to write down that equation. MgO, that is magnesium oxide, is going to react with hydrochloric acid and it forms the magnesium chloride. Magnesium chloride, MgCl2, and water. And in the question it's given that it is a balanced equation. True or false? So first find out it is balanced or not. So count the number of atoms in both the sides. Magnesium in left hand side 1. Magnesium atoms in right hand side 1. Oxygen atoms in left hand side 1. Oxygen atoms in right hand side 1. Now hydrogen atoms in left hand side 1. Hydrogen atoms in right hand side 2. Means that the equation is not balanced. The statement is false. Okay children, so this is all about the short answer type question. Okay, I hope that you understood. If you have any doubt in any question, so children please ask it in the school group. Okay, now come to the next exercise. Short answer questions. You have to write the answer of these questions just in one sentence. Okay children, so come to the question number 1. When will two elements on being mixed together form a compound? When the two different elements are going to mix together. So when they will form a compound? So children, there is a certain condition that as they will mix together in a definite ratio, okay, then they will form a compound. Otherwise, they will not form a compound. Question number 2. Why are the properties of different compounds so different from each other? The different compounds have the different properties. What is the reason? The children, reason is very simple, as the different compounds are formed by different elements. This is one of the reason. Second reason might be they are formed from the same element but of different ratio. So because of these reasons, the different compounds have the different properties. Okay. Now, the question number 3, why are most elements not found in the free state in nature? As already we have discussed in the chapter, some of the elements are not found in free state because they have the capacity to bind or join with other. They does not have the capacity to exist independently. So that is why they are not found independently. They are not existing in free state. They are existing in combined state. Now the question number 4 is, how can you form iron sulfide from a mixture of iron and sulfur? So children, remember that when iron and sulfur are going to heated Without heating, they will not form a compound. But when they will heat, then they will form a new compound, and that compound will be iron sulfide, FeS. So the FeS indicates the formula of iron sulfide, and this compound formed when these two elements not simply mix together. After mixing, they heated, then it will form. And in iron sulfide, the ratio of iron and sulfur will be 7 is to 4. 7 is to 4 will be the ratio of these two elements to form the molecule, to form the compound iron sulfide. Okay. Now, the question number 5. What does a formula represent? What a formula of any compound represent? Children, remember that a formula represents the three important information. It gives three information. The first information is the different elements by which the compound is made up of. This is the first information. This second information, the ratios of those different elements are the valencies. You can say that those elements also get indicated by the formula of a compound. And the third thing is that the molecule of that compound indicated, as that one molecule is made up from how much number of atoms of different elements. So these all informations we can get from the formula. So you can say that these informations represented by the formula. Right? Number of elements, name of elements, valencies, and their number of atoms of molecule. Now, come to the next question number 6. Define valency in terms of hydrogen. So, you please remember that about the valencies. There is a definition of valency that one is the old one and second one is the new one. So, according to the old definition, it's given there the hydrogen atoms get removed from the compound that indicate the valency, or that is used to find out the valency of the element. And the modern definition is simply just the combining capacity of elements is termed as their, yes, valency. Like the valency of oxygen is 2. It means that the combining capacity of oxygen is 2. Okay, the valency of sodium is 1. It means that its combining capacity is 1. It can combine with other elements only 1, not more than 1. So this indicated by the different valencies of the elements. And this valency play important role at the time to form the compound. Okay, children? So these all are the short answer questions which are given in your book exercise. And you will write these all answers of short answer question in your notebook. Only the answers of choose most appropriate answers and very short answers you will do in the book. And the third C, this you will write in your notebook. Okay, children, I will provide also the PDF of these answers. So with the help of that PDF, you can complete your work to write the exercise. Okay, now thank you and have a nice day.